Okay, as we are entering the last Shabbos of the year, last Shabbos of Chodesh Elul, Parshas Ntzavim, Shabbos Mevarchim Tishrei, I'm sure you've heard from many people that this year, Tavshin Pei Hey, there is no Parshas Vayelech. Last year we finished off before Rosh Hashanah Ntzavim Vayelech. This year Vayelech is going to be in Tavshin Pei Vav. All right, a cute riddle. But let's take something to heart from this small parsha this week, Parshas Ntzavim. So the Rebbe says, ultimately the pasuk says, come the bracha v'aklala, when the bracha and klala, Rahman al-Islan, take place, ultimately you're going to do tshuva. Frek the Rebbe, a pasha question. For bracha, that's beautiful. Usually the klala, when things go bad, arouses people to chapsich and do tshuva. But how does the bracha fit in there? I'm thinking about this a lot, especially anybody who is a little older and had this chus to spend time by the Rebbe during these auspicious days will feel this. The Rebbe says sometimes a person does not feel the klala that bad. Sometimes he's so entrenched in the nonsense he doesn't even realize that it's bad. Only somebody who had the good feeling, they had the brachas, realizes when he's missing the brachas, and when it goes to the negative, how bad it is. So dafka, the bracha that comes before the klala teaches us what we're missing. It's al derech, the Rebbe says, the person who Nebuch used to be rich, that's not the Nebuch part, but he lost his money. For him, being poor is much harder than a regular person being poor, because he knew the bright side. So each one of us in Klal Yisrael had a time we reminisce of the better times. So Rahman al-Islan, when things are out of shape, it arouses us to do tshuva. The pasuk says in this week's parsha that Hashem says, "I gave you chayim v'amoves nasati lefanecha." I gave you life and the opposite, and I gave you a bracha and a klala. I gave you blessing and the opposite. So believe it or not, the Chassam Sofer says Chayim and Bracha is Bigematria Tzara, is Bigematria 295, meaning to say that a Yid, the Yid overcomes every Tzara when he has Chayim and Bracha. Moves and Klala is Bigematria Taf Reish Yud Aleph 611. Which is the 611 mitzvahs that were given to us. Torah is Bigematria 611, and if you learn, the more you connect to the Torah, the more you will be saved from Rahman al-Islan, all negative things. And this is definitely a time to commit to all the good things. We cry out to the Eibishter, and we beg for tshuva, and the Eibishter should take us back. It says in Svarim that one of the reasons why Bikurim, the mitzvah of Bikurim, is read in last week's parsha, very close to the end of the year, because it teaches us a person can always start from the beginning. Bikurim is from the first fruit. And when we come to the Eibishter, we say, "De lasecha defaknu rachem v'chanan." Hashem, we bang down your doors, begging and pleading. So the Mefarshim say, what kind of harsh lashon is that? And the answer is there are two types of people coming to beg for things. There's a guy who's fundraising, a meshulach, so he goes from person to person. Okay, he knows he has a quota he wants to fulfill, and if one person won't give him, he's up to the next. But then there's a guy who's starving. The guy who's starving, hungry, can't go collecting for. He has to get it right in the first or second door that he knocks on, and he knocks on the door much stronger. And this is what we say to Eibush Hashem. We want you, we need you so much. Not like the person snorting, collecting. It's like the person who's hungry, that he's banging on the door. Please, let us come in. And there's a very famous mashal that they used to give in Brisk. They say that there was a person that was he was trying to bring schayra, merchandise, through the border, and he knew it's very tricky. They'll stop him. All right, so he was preparing all the schayra to see how he could do it. He hired a wagon driver to take him through the border. So the closer it was getting to the time when they decided to go, the owner of the merchandise, he was afraid like crazy, because if he gets stopped, he'll lose all his merchandise. He was afraid from day one, is this going to be successful or not? The wagon driver, until the last day, he wasn't, it's not his money, it's not a big deal, and whatever happens, happens. He didn't know, he'll play dumb. But he's still afraid, because he might end up being an accomplice to the murder, to the crime. There's only one of the three that has no feeling, doesn't get worried at all. And that is the actual horse. The horse that's doing the transportation. For them, it doesn't make a difference if it's going across the border or it's just bringing something from block to block. So in Brisk, they used to say, when it comes these days of Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Elul, yeah, we're transferring from place to place, from year to year, we're turning over a calendar year. But don't be altia kasus kefer. Don't be like that dog, the horse who has no feeling. At least be like either the Baal Aschera or the Bala Gola. You have some feeling towards it. Now, I want to finish off with a beautiful vart that a person should never give up, even under the circumstance he may be that he fell very far. We keep on saying, renew our days like Kikedem, like it used to be. What does that mean, Kikedem? So I saw a vart that Kikedem is a Rosh Tevis. Kedem is a Rosh Tevis. Kuf is for Kayin, Dalid is for David, and Mem is for Menashe. And in history we know that Kayin, Rahman al-Islan, did Shvichas Damim. David had the story where it was questionable of Bathsheba and Gili Arayas. And Menashe was Avodah Zarah. And this is what we say to the Eibishter. As bad as Nebuchadnezzar could have fallen, even the worst of the worst, you forgave those three for their averis, and the worst of the worst, there's still hope for us. And the Eibishter guarantee, when he sees that we mean it sincerely, and I'm actually here by water, because it says in Sfarim that one of the reasons we blow the shofar is because we're being mamlich the melech, and there's usually trumpets when you mamlich the melech. It also says that the minui melech is always around water. Water is a siman bracha. So we should all be gebenched with a ksiva v'chsiva toiva, a good gebenched yar.